What's wrong about you? The whole world was wrong about you.
Last week we got a brand new trailer for Captain America Civil War. We got new dialogue, new footage, and even a glimpse of Spider-Man. I'm Viewpoint, and this is my breakdown. My breakdown of the trailer, that is. I'm not going to start crying and pulling my hair out.
You just started a war!
I'm going to be going through the trailer, picking out things I found interesting, and at the end I'm probably just going to summarise and theorise a bit about where things are going in the MCU. It's all my opinion, you know, it's open to interpretation. I just want to do a quick shout out to Sophie Newen, who some of her ideas have influenced my own, but I've sort of melded them all together into one video, so let's get straight into it.
We try to save as many people as we can.
So here we're seeing Bucky in his full Winter Soldier gear. I think this could be a flashback to when he was brainwashed. I'll get more into this later because there's more evidence for it. But just be thinking about that as we go on.
But you don't give up.
New York, Washington, D.C., Sokovia.
Okay, that's enough.
Captain, people are afraid.
That's why I'm here. We need to be put in check.
This conversation seems to be happening in the same room where they were all just watching the devastation that have been caused by them. This could mean that Tony's in it from the very beginning, but I think it's a lot more likely that the film will start with a failed mission by the new Avengers team, which was the explosion that we've just seen, and this happens about 20 minutes in, I think. Iron Man's going to be called in because everything's going wrong, so that's why they've needed to put this, whatever it is, in place, this registration thing in place.
Whatever form that takes, I'm game.
I'm sorry, Tony. If I see a situation pointed south, I can't ignore it. Sometimes I wish I could.
Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
I know we're not perfect. But the safest hands are still our own.
Alright, so both me and Sophie thought it was highly unlikely that Bucky would just shoot Tony point blank like that, or even that Cap would let him do it. So we think it's a lot more likely that he's going to go kill Crossbones, or maybe just someone from his past, I don't know, and that Tony is very bent on not letting him kill anyone. There's no way that someone who will become Captain America, and more on that later because it will happen, there's no way that he would just point blank murder someone like that. Now this is quite interesting. When I saw the clip of Rhodey being lying on the ground and Tony over him, nursing him back to health, or just maybe cradling his dead body, who knows, I assumed it was Bucky who had ripped his chest out, just like we saw him trying to do to Tony in the first trailer. I assumed that he'd done it on Rhodey and thought, oh, that works, that's brought down an Iron Man, I'll try it on Tony as well. But it looks like he's been shot down by something. It could even be Iron Man in a misfire. Who knows? I doubt it though. We're supposed to believe it's Bucky with that gun at the just before this clip, but again, I don't think that's likely because Bucky was inside and now this is outside, unless he was shooting out a window, which again I don't think because the light wasn't right or anything like that.
I was wrong about you. The whole world was wrong about you.
Here we see what appears to be Crossbones in the back of a truck, with lots of soldiers coming out with him. If these are the same soldiers that are going after Bucky in the first trailer, then it could be, this whole scene could be the opening mission that I mentioned earlier that's all gone wrong. It could be the mission to go and get Bucky, because Widow is fighting the soldiers are after Bucky, and Cap is helping Bucky, so everyone's all still on the same side for now.
Coming for you.
I'm not the one that needs to watch their back.
I'll come back to this more later. I just want to make a quick point that Iron Man here is wounded. Tony's wounded. He's hurt his arm and he's got a bruise on his face. And Widow seems to be turning her back on him. She's quite angry at him. So the war's already underway, but people are starting to turn away from it. So just that's something that I'll come back to more later.
This doesn't have to end in a fight, Tony.
Now, there's a lot to talk about in this shot here. First of all, Tony's bruised again, so it's nowhere near the beginning. There's obviously already things happened. And second of all, if you notice when he hits him, when it shows him strike him, his mask is off. And then when Cap's flying across the room, you can see Tony at the back, but he's got his mask on. That could be a continuity error, we don't know, but I think it's a lot more likely that they're two very different scenes. Also, if you look, Tony doesn't seem to be here for a fight. He knocks Cap out of the way and then just runs off in the other direction. He's there to do something, and maybe Cap wants to stop him. You can see Bucky at the back as well. He's got his gun, same as in the first trailer. The first time we see Iron Man in the first trailer. You've got Bucky at the back with his gun. Everyone's being a bit defensive, according to Tony. I think it's likely, going back to the beginning, where I mentioned about the flashback, this is where Bucky was brainwashed. They've come back here. Cap and Bucky are looking for answers about who Bucky is and want his past and stuff. And Tony isn't happy. Tony's been sent to destroy everything to stop any more Winter Soldiers from happening. So that's obviously going to cause a difference in opinion.
You just started a war.
Oh my god, I love this shot. Obviously, these two are going up against each other, Scarlet Witch and Vision. You've got the powerhouse of each team. Like, no one else can really go up against them other than each other. They just get crushed straight away. And it looks like that's what's happened to Hawkeye down there in the corner. It looks like he's tried to take on Vision and failed miserably. So I doubt he's going to be dead. Same reason that Rhodey's not going to be dead. They're not going to show a death in the trailer. But he's been hurt pretty bad by the looks of things, and it also makes sense in my mind that Scarlet Witch is protective over Hawkeye because in Age of Ultron he was the one who gave her the motivational speech about being an Avenger. So maybe she's got not romantic feelings for him, but sort of replacing Quicksilver as her older brother. Maybe she looks up to him. Either way, I feel like she would need to take revenge. If he's been hurt, that she would want revenge for him.
Stay down. Final warning.
I could do this all day.
Now this is the shot we've been waiting for. We're seeing everyone on the battleground at one time for the first time. So let's do some quick matchups here. You've got Tony versus Cap, obviously. Scarlet Witch and Vision. It looks like Hawkeye and Black Widow are going straight for each other. They're not looking at anyone else. Bucky's going for Black Panther, which leaves Falcon and War Machine, which leaves Ant-Man to go against Spider-Man, assuming that he's on Iron Man's side. I don't know how that would work, but yeah, so it's looking like everyone's got someone, and I think they sound pretty equally matched, all of those. You've got the martial artists against the martial artists, the magic against the magic, and what have you. So it should be quite good.
All right, I've run out of patience. On to ruse!
Hey everyone.
And last but not least, we have Spider-Man. Finally, we get to see what he's looking like. Personally, not a huge fan of his design. I think he looks a bit too cartoony, a bit too CGI, like Deadpool. Of course, I did like Deadpool, so I don't know. But I think the main thing about him is where he came from, and I personally think we're not going to get another origin story. We've seen that twice before now. This is the third iteration in like 10 years. I think we're going to pick him up. Spider-Man's going to be a teenager with powers. We're going to meet Peter Parker first. He's going to have his powers, but not really know what to do with them or how to use them. So Tony is going to take him under his wing, sort of train him up to be an Avenger and build him a suit, his own suit, and it's going to have, like, because Tony built it, it's going to have technology in it, like the web shooters, and that's why the eyes narrow at the end. There's technology in the suit, because Tony's made him something that can help him fight, basically help him be a good Avenger. I just want to speculate a bit now on how I think the film's going to go. The whole bit at the airport, we've been seeing clips of that all through the trailer. I think that part, the main battle between both sides, that'll happen about halfway through. Everything's just going to go down to absolute chaos. I think that Crossbones will serve as something like a catalyst at the start of the film, something that sparks the battle between them. And then about halfway through, we're going to get everyone coming together. We're going to have this huge fight at the airport. There's going to be a lot of collateral damage. Maybe even a few people taken out of the fight permanently. Not dead, just pretty badly wounded. But I think that after this fight, everyone except Bucky, Cap and Tony, they're all going to sort of back out, either to face a new threat. If Crossbones is more than a catalyst, everyone else could go off to fight him. Or maybe just leave because of how much collateral damage there is. I mean, you can tell by the look on Widow's face, she isn't happy with what's going on. She's horrified by it. That would fit into why Black Widow is sort of... she's angry at Tony here. I think the fight has already happened. The fight at the airport has already happened. At the point where she's walking away telling him to watch his back. She's technically on his side, but she's also saying, I'm not getting involved anymore, you need to sort this out, you need to be careful now. It would explain why in the final fight that we've seen a few things between Cap and Tony, it's just those two and it's in a completely separate location, or I suppose there's three of them if you count Bucky. How this final fight ends, we don't know. But given that this is Robert Downey Jr.'s last contracted movie, but Chris Evans has still got one more, it's not really looking that good for Iron Man. I think potentially, and this is just my theory, Tony could wound Cap, like not want to kill him, but sort of need to take him out, so wounds him pretty badly so that he physically cannot get back up to fight, and Bucky actually kills Tony as revenge. And then after that, for Infinity War, Bucky becomes Captain America. And I mentioned this earlier, it's definitely going to happen. Because not only does it happen in the comics, I mean, duh, but he's sort of like... I mean, we have seen not one, but two shots of Bucky with the shield. They're sort of teasing us already with it. And then later on, I think in Infinity War Part 1, Steve is going to try and stand up and fight Thanos with everyone else, but because of how wounded Tony made him, he's going to get killed. Maybe protecting everyone else, that would be a good way for him to go out, a pretty noble death. That is just my theory, but the way I see it, if Thanos is threatening everything, which he is, because we've already seen him with the Infinity Gauntlet and all of the gems, there's no way they'd ignore the threat, just out of spite for the other one, so the only way for them not to be in it is to be dead. Now, just going off the contracts, Tony is... that's it now, this is his last film, so he's not going to be in any of the Infinity Wars, but Cap will appear in one of them, because Chris Evans still has one more contracted film after this. Personally, I cannot wait for Civil War, and I cannot wait to see if any of my predictions actually pan out. I'll be quite impressed if they do. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again here on Viewpoint Gaming.